What's good with it? In the hood with it. You already know what it is, man. Gunner's Profiles, where we really get it in high definition. New camera, new day. You know what it is. Valle, not the Bay. But shout outs and respects. Guard! You don't want that. Now, trip out. What I wanted to talk about is this border situation. Mexico. Open borders, things of that nature. You know, as you can tell by the thumbnail, there's also a mystery going on. And I think everything is impacted and everything is coming together because of this one incident. Now, there's several things that happen in Mexico. You know, for years and years, there's a lot of things that we shouldn't speak about. A lot of things that I don't speak about on my channels. I try to toe the line because at the end of the day, gente, a lot of it is none of mine or your business. But at the same time, we wonder. I wonder. You wonder, I wonder, right? But one thing I don't involve myself in is wondering too much into what the cartels got going on. See, that's none of our business. We all know what the game is. We already know what it is. You know, it's better left unspoken. But actually and factually, what I wanted to talk about is this mystery in Mexico. You had 4 Africanos, a chick and 3 vatos that decided that if for no other reason, they were going to go into Mexico so she could get on tummy tuck. Right? A little tummy tuck. Take a little bit off the sides right here. So let's skip an earlobe. I don't know. The nose is this way. Turn it this way. We all know that in Mexico, procedures are a little bit cheaper than in the United States. It's just the way it is. You know, a lot of people go over there for certain medicines that are too expensive here, or, you know, the bootleg Jordans, or whatever the case may be, whatever they can get at a cheaper rate. Why not? You know, a lot of the times, a lot of women's going on pancake are trying to go get that BBL. They're trying to get lifted. They're trying to get lifted and gifted. They're trying to be out there. You know, they're trying to be like that. Wah, 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 wah. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work out good for everybody. Sometimes they just put a hot air balloon and toma, pop it. You know, a little, oh, hell no. And one cheek is blown. Now, according to what everyone's been saying, these 4 individuals decided to go into Mexico to get this procedure done to this female. But is that really what they were going to Mexico for? You know, according to the news and what everyone's saying out there, they went in and they were snatched up by members of a certain group. And of course, a couple of them were killed, allegedly. Now, I know Mexico. Having been there, having eaten perros de taco in Juarez, right? Anapra, stand up. Having known how Mexico is dangerous and the situation that you could find yourself in, I wouldn't go there for no other reason than to check on my cows on the rancho, right? Period. Because I know what time it is. They're not playing down there. It's a whole different level. You know, I actually seen a body, you know, of a tecato in Mexico, right there downtown Centro in Anapra in Juarez. And I watched people walk over them for about 2 weeks. I went to go get my hair cut, get a quick fade, back when I had hair, you know. Came back 2 weeks later, the vato was still there, frozen, like that. That chueco, right? It was over. And people kept on walking by. Different animal. Mexico's a different place. It's a beautiful country. It's our culture. It's where we come from, raza. You know what it is, most of us. But it's a very dangerous place. It's a place that if you're not from there, don't go there. You know, maybe on vacation, but you know, you don't want no staycation. You don't want to stay there. You just want to go see the sights, order, catch a marlin and dip. Go for Mexico shit. Because it's different the way they wiggle. Just a whole different breed of person. And everybody out there is broker than baby joker. So everyone's trying to not get over on the next man, but there's a lot of hustle behind the muscle. There's always a hustle going on. I remember getting on the ruta, which is the bus. And like I said, they used to drop candies in your lap. If you touched them, you bought them. You know, they'll say their little spill and then they'll come back and snatch the, you know, the things. I remember one bought the grabbed in, you know what I mean? That's pipa. You know what I mean? And then he just bounced. But it definitely is, it's just what it is. Everyone's trying to hustle. These 4 people went. Being Africanos, they stood out. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I was in Mexico, I did run into a couple Africano brothers out there, spoke fluent Spanish, lived out there in the streets of Juarez. Facts. I remember getting at them, conversating with them, and they said, hey, they moved out there. Their families from there, some of them. So there are Africanos out there. Not the same type of Africanos or blacks, you know, black Americans just like America. You know, it's a whole different type of person. They're more indoctrinated in what's going on in Mexico. The policies, the politics, and the everyday bustle and hustle living. But there were some out there. But these people probably stuck out like a sore thumb going into Mexico, automatically, I don't know if they already had a surgery scheduled, or they were going there for that specific reason, or if that was even the reason they went. Now, I have some inside information from someone that knows someone that knows someone that was not the case. You guys ready for the hot caldo? Here we go, right? If they did go out there inquiring, hey, where do we get this done? Where do we get that done? Then obviously they're letting people know that they got a substantial amount of money in order to get this procedure done. Because even though this procedure is cheaper than, say, the United States, where maybe, whatever she was getting would have been 20, 30, 40,000, it's still going to run you at least a 10 lick. It's going to run you a little 10 brick. So people know you got money. See that one right there? He got money. Órale, vivo de tres animales. We're going to go ahead and need that money. You ready, Perico? You ready, Gallo? And the chiva. And they're going to get it. Bajaderos, they're going to snatch it up. Now, if they happen to run into the wrong people, flashing money or letting people know their intentions or what they were trying to get done, then obviously you know what time it is. Separate mine from yours. I'm going to go ahead and need that. Órale, gracias, Atlanta. And that's what it is. But from what I heard from a person that he heard, this was not the case. These people were going in there with other intentions. They were going over there to do something just a little bit more mischievous rather than get a tummy tuck. And it didn't work out for them. Now, whether or not these individuals who got thrown in the street by a certain group, basically given up, did this exact crime or didn't, it will always be a mystery. I'll tell you one thing, these vatos are not going to admit nothing. When they were sitting on the ground hogtied, they sure looked like they were smiling. So it didn't look like they were doing it against their will. It looked like they were doing it out of their own free will. Now, of course, if a group holds them accountable for something that they've done that wasn't sanctioned, I can see them giving up the ghost. I can see them being, the sacrificial lambs, because these certain groups do not want negative attention. Now imagine, let's take it here to our gang, our barrios, right? Hoods, Califa style, or any other state in the United States. We don't want negative attention. I know I don't. Do you? Pensa, en la tira. Nobody does. So, if a homeboy goes messing up, for the most part, hey, bro, you did that. You got to go deal with that. That's your time, Holmes. We ain't trying to do it with you. That's not our mint. Or there are some voters that are like, right or wrong, Holmes, I'm rocking with the homie. Let's go to war. Guerra, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's get our mind right so we can shine right. And then it's on and cracking. You got to understand it. That's the way the situations roll sometimes. So I could see groups basically saying, here, we don't want no pleito, we don't want no problems. And they wrote, hey, mister, you know what I mean? We don't want no problems. Hey, Mr. George, you sent 4 over here, Mr. George, and you're only getting 2 back, Mr. George. But look, here, watch out. We're going to throw 5 your way. Is it even, Mr. George? Because nobody wants problems. Look what's happening. Okay? That situation is going to be a mystery, because were these people really down there getting tummy tucks and all that? From what I heard, no. They were into something different. They were looking for something different, and they got something totally different than what they were looking for. And we'll just leave it at that. I'm not here to spread rumors or gossip or if, ands, or buts, but one thing I am here to say is factuals and actuals, man. I do not, honestly, in my opinion, believe that they were going there for a tummy tuck. Now, of course, it made national news. Of course, they're Americans, and I hate how they always play the American tip. It's always American when it's another country. Oh, it's American, right? They didn't go in there as Americans. They went in there as 4 black people trying to hustle. And that's how they should be treated as such. I'm not going to disrespect them, and condolences to their family for the ones that lost their 2 loved ones. But hey, that's a risk you take when you're going into a foreign country. You don't understand the rules, the game, the grit, the policy, and that's how you come back. Not the same as when you went in, period. I went to Mexico, and I'm Mexican, Holmes. Well, I'm brown, and I had my head on swivelization the whole time there, because I knew at the exact same point in time that I got there, they seen me, and it could have got ugly. I've told the story. We pulled up to my abuelito's house. We're right there, me and the homeboy. We ain't there but 5 minutes. A red truck pulled up like, hey, yes, where you want this from? Norte? What's that? You know what I mean? And it was more so of, hey, what are you here? What are your intentions? We're just here to visit. Hey, okay, you got 2 weeks to visit and get on down the road. That's it. And we'll be out of here in 1.5 weeks. Gracias. After I get some tacos de perro. Anyway, so that was it. So they trip off everybody. If you go in there and you're not from there, just like a barrio, hey, who's that vato in la ranfla? I think ain't that your primo? Nah, ain't my primo. My primo got a big old mole on his chin like Gil. That's not him, right? And so that's it. or on his forehead, pensa, chin, forehead, it's all the same. It's like it's ass chin. It looks the same. You know what I mean? Got the butt face. Anyway, so look, trip out. Whatever these people's intentions were, they'll never be the same again. Of course, five members of a certain group were sacrificed and were given up to the authorities. So basically, let it go. But look at what's been going on in Mexico. Open borders, talking about the invasion of the United States into Mexico. So many different things are being spoken on and said. All of a sudden, this catalyst of an event is what America is using to base guerra on, basically, to make the assumption that now that certain people were behind this, even though a single group did admit having a hand in it, but not a hand in it, but here's 5 hands in it, or maybe 10 hands in it. You know, they gave up the ghost already. Let it go, I said, before we open a can of worms we don't need. Now, I'm an American, first and foremost. I'm a Mexican American, so I have love for both sides of the soil, because at one point in time it was all one soil. I said, do your history, right? Cultura, for reals. So I got love for my people, but a question got posed last night on the live. One of the most hardest questions, I think, for a Chicano or a Mexicano, Americano to answer was, if we did go to guerra, who would you rock with? And I have a simple answer. I'm from Merced, the west side. That's in America. That's in Merced, located in California, in the Central Valley of America. You know, the United States. But I come from Latino descent, from Mexicano descent. My abuelito on both sides. One's from Zacatecas, the other one's from Juarez. I got love, right? Can't speak Spanish the best, but hey, Wood, brother, I'm trying, right? So I'm doing me, but I do understand enough to know that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm proud to be from this great country I'm from, but I don't hate on my culture, my people at all. So you ask questions like, and the question that was posed was, if we went to war, who would you rock with? Well, who the hell do you think I would rock with? Wherever my waters are is where I'm at. Wherever my peoples are is where I'm at. You know, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'll go up into Montana, into the mountains, like Red Dawn is saying, just wait for it all to figure itself out. And whoever wins, that's who I'm joining. Hey, at the end of the day, I love both. Hey, don't get mad at me, because I got a game plan. You better work on it. But anyway, so yeah, that was a crazy question to ask, but it was a righteous question, and one of the hardest questions for a Mexicano Americano to answer, because it's like you feel like you're a disgrace to your people. You're not doing anything for your Mexicano people, but at the same time, you're American. This is where your body is. This is where your people or your family are from. This is where you were born. It's just an unfortunate event if that was ever to come to fruition, if there was ever guerra. And right now, more time than any, there's a lot of people tripping on the country of Mexico and ready to invade it all, man. And this is a catalyst. This event right here is what they're basing it off on. Because before this event, we didn't really hear too much about invading them and fighting the cartels and this and that. And I hate to say it that way, man, and no disrespect to any cartels whatsoever, because your business is your business, and I would never involve my business in your business or make fun of your business. Just so you know, see this head, this neck, no chainsaw, órale pues, and let's go. I think it's crazy that now, after all this time, people are deciding, oh, it's time to invade Mexico and to go and fight these labs and this and that. And I understand there's a lot going on, you know, with the fentanyl crisis and all that. That ain't the only place it comes from, though, man. Pensa Latina, you know, don't be mad because it's cheaper to keep her. But, you know, I think that would be very unfortunate and would put a lot of people in danger, you know, if that was to happen. There'd be a lot of people that lose their lives behind something that's frivolous. You know, the war will never stop. You know, the drugs and gangs and violence and all that will never stop. Doesn't matter what you do or how you try to do it. It's here. You know what I mean? It's here like ocean waves, and it's not gonna stop. So if they choose to do that, it is what it is. Again, I say it stems from, you know, this murder mystery. You know, 2 people unfortunately lost their lives and others were kidnapped. But ultimately, they're safe back in the States at home. And that's a lesson to be learned. For those of you that think you can just go into other countries and just have it your way like Burger King, that ain't the way it rocks, especially in Mexico. You know, like I said, it's a certain element of danger there. It's having, if you've never been there, like I said, there's certain parts you don't want to travel into. Anything on the frontera is vicious. It's none of your business. There's a lot going on. So the basic thing is to stay up out the way. The criminal system is rampant. The cops that are out there are not on your side. Definitely not. I'm going to tell a little story right now. So trip out, we're out there. And we're in Juarez. And we're cruising. Now, you got to understand, me and my homeboy, we're on the run. And my other homeboy was already on the run. He's been at my Abuelita's house, posted up like a thumbtack for about a year before we got there. So we get there, we're all cruising, and he had knocked a chick out there. Man, I'm telling you, she was bad. To what degree of bad? You see Weather Girls? Mm-hmm. Bang, bang, right? Or the Selma Hayek type stuff, right? So the vato was getting to Selena on his itty bum bum every night. But she had a jefito and a tío that was highly affiliated to a certain group out there. I'm not going to speak on. Let's just say they were the ones for the ones. And we were cruising. We're going to go get some ice cream and some Rocky Road. Or in Mexico, the hits different. It's bomb. And a bag of Doritos that they put frijoles, and queso, y todo, man. Sour cream, and oh, it's bomb, man. Hey, get up on it if you're ever in Mexico, right? And the strawberries going, what do they put in it? Whipped cream? Bang, bang. So anyways, we're doing our thing down in Central, and we get pulled over. And now I'm spooked. I'm shook. No, I'm trying to get killed by the water whales. Thank God I was in prison, right? Because I've watched movies, bro. Get that gringo. They're going to throw a motherfucker in there, and it's going to be a wrap. They're going to do some bad things to somebody, right? So I'm like, damn, we're done. And my homeboy's like, don't trip, bro. Just let me see how much money you got. I said, I got 60 on it, eh? Right? So we all start gathering money. And the chick we're with, having her family be from where they're from, she was laughing. She was like, don't trip. Watch this. The placa got off his bike. Yeah, we got pulled over by a bike. It'd be like that sometimes. What did it, Jack Tripper? Right? So the vato pulls us over, and he's like, licencia, drogas, armas. That's what he's asking for. She says, no, no, and no. And she starts making a phone call, and he's telling her, hey, get off the phone. This is serious. And she says, I'm going to show you how serious it is right now. And he's yelling and yelling and yelling, and all of a sudden she goes, here, my tío wants to talk to you. And he's like, I don't want to take the phone. She's like, I suggest you take it. And he takes the phone, and he starts to cry within a minute. And shakily hands her the phone back, and looks at our ice cream, and it's melting, and I'm so sorry about your ice cream, and you won't be pulled over the rest of the day. And we proceed to go downtown and buy fake Jordans. I'm going to tell you right now, that's exactly how the day worked out. And I asked her, who was that? She said, I called my tío. I don't want to say his name because it's serious, and it's not that serious. She said he told him what he was going to do to him and his family, and he let us get on down the yellow brick road. And that's just how it went. At that point right there, I knew that I needed to leave Mexico the next day. I needed to get away from everything that they had going on, and it was very dangerous. So these 4 Americans that went there, regardless if they went there for a tummy tuck or maybe to knock out a piruja, or maybe to pick a little something up, to move along, they made a mistake, a grave mistake. And now it's impacting the future of the relations between Mexico and America, and ain't that unfortunate? Again, who do I rock with? Well, guess what? I'm going to rock with the West Side of Merced to the day I die, right? But I said I'm going to go in the mountains and just wait for it to all pan out. Hopefully it doesn't have to go that route. Anyway, Cynthia, I just wanted to speak on that. That's the murder mystery in Mexico. A little in depth. Like I said, I know someone that knows someone that really knows someone that knows them. And they weren't there for no tummy tuck. Don't believe the hype. With that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose, get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle and the strive and the strive for the struggle. We're going to continue to hustle, man. We're going to do what we does. No added preservatives, because we don't do that right here on the profiles. You know what we do? Guard! We do what we can, I say. This is the gun, gente. Bang, bang. And in that fashion, orderly iPhone.